Hey, I'm DJ Scully with Vigier Guitars, and we're here today at the Anchor in Kingston, New York to show off how durable our patented 1090 neck system is. Every Vigier guitar is equipped with our 1090 neck system. It's 10% carbon and 90% maple, and the Anchor has graciously allowed us to use some of their kitchen equipment today. If it can withstand that, I'm sure it can withstand whatever you could throw at it on stage. So let's get started. So the guitar we have here today is an Excalibur B-foot, which is the Bumblefoot signature single neck model. What makes this guitar particularly well suited for this test is the flat mounted Floyd Rose, which makes restringing and unstringing just a little bit easier than a typical Floyd or even our semi-floating vintage style trems, more vintage style trems. Like all of our guitars, it features stainless steel frets, our proprietary trem system, which pivots on needle bearings instead of knife edges, so it never wears out, it always comes back to zero. With the exception of the Sean Lane guitar, all of the Excalibur series comes with a guaranteed action of 1.5 millimeters on the treble side on the 12th fret and 2 millimeters on the bass side on the 12th fret. So this guitar is actually a hair lower. I just picked it up yesterday from Kevin Ontresian of Dillinger Escape Plan, and he likes his action just a hair lower than what it comes stock. So I think this is just a little bit beneath, but regardless, it's a control so that we can see what happens after we freeze and burn this poor guy. Flip it around and show you the bass side. There you go, just a hair under 2 millimeters, I think. What we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this neck in the freezer for the next hour or so until it gets nice and cold, then we're gonna pop it back on the guitar and see if anything shifted. So you might be asking yourself why we're choosing to torture these guitar necks, so I figured I would use this sample to show you what makes our necks so special and what sets us apart from the rest of the crowd. Really the big thing with the necks is our 1090 neck system, which was previously mentioned. And what that means is that every neck is 10% carbon and 90% maple. So we start with maple grown in France, and it comes in slabs. We buy it by the tree, it comes in slabs, and we let it air dry for 3 years. Then what we do is we do a rough cut of the neck and the body shape, and then whatever needs to be glued in, like the carbon, or in the case of certain guitars, a top, we'll glue that on, and then we'll let it sit for another year just to let it dry before we do final shaping and sanding. So most guitars, the wood that they're made out of is 3 to 5 years old before it even reaches the store's shelves. But the special thing again is the carbon, and this cutaway will show you that the carbon goes all the way through the fretboard, and that's what lends its rigidity and stability. So there's no truss rod, you never have to worry about adjustments. It won't bend in heat, cold, humidity, dryness, whatever you can throw at it, it can take. And in addition to being ultra stable, the tonal benefits are awesome too. You get crazy sustain for bolt-on guitars especially, and you get a little bit more top-end zing on a lot of things. String response tends to be a lot more even across the board. Your low E and your high E are going to be the similar volumes. And there's absolutely no dead spots on the frets. This is an older neck, so it's got nickel frets, and they're kind of gnarly looking right now, but with the stainless steel frets we're using now, the neck is completely worry-free for years and years and years of use. All right, our poor B-foot neck has been in the freezer for an hour. We're gonna string it, put it back on the guitar, string it up, measure it, and then move on to the next test. This is incredibly cold. Yeah, so I'm just wiping it down because I don't want to get any moisture on this unfinished part of the wood here. I don't think it would be terribly harmful, but you know, like this neck is soaking wet coming out of that freezer, so just for the sake of any electronics I might touch or anything like that, I'm just gonna dry it off real quick, but you see all that frost coming off. And you know what's really nice is the finish. This is our matte black finish. I was kind of expecting the headstock to check from the extreme temperature change, just pulling it out like that, and it didn't, so that is awesome. I could have put the whole guitar in there. All right, let's do this. If you recall, earlier in the video, it's supposed to be 1.5 millimeters on the 12th fret on the treble side E and 2 millimeters on the bass side, but this guitar was a little bit lower because of the preference of the last player. So let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, that's dead on. That's exactly where it was, wasn't it? Yeah, buddy. All right, let's take a look at the other side, make sure it didn't twist. And also dead on. Freezing test has been a resounding success. This B foot lives for another battle, so let's go do that now. All right, it's on to test 2. We're gonna test 2 things with this one. We're gonna test the carbon's ability to resist both heat and humidity. I'm gonna jump in this sauna, which I cranked up to 10. We're gonna get it as hot as it can go and as steamy as it can get, and then we'll pop back out, put the neck back on, and see where we're at. Wish me luck. Oh, it's already hot. About 180 degrees coming out of that thing. I'm drenched, the neck is fine. All the metal parts are incredibly hot. It's like going down a slide in 3rd grade. So we're gonna go pop it back on the body and test the measurements, make sure it didn't move again. All right, so we're back at the Anchor after getting out of the sauna and a quick dip in the pool. I'm gonna reassemble the guitar. We're gonna string it up and see if 180 something degrees and who knows what amount of humidity in the sauna did to the neck. Let's take a look. What do we got? That's just a hair under 1.5 millimeters, right? Which is where we started. Let's take a look at the bass side. Just a hair under 2 millimeters, it looks like. Closer to 1.5, I guess. But that's where we started. See, still no buzz. Okay, so today, the neck of this Excalibur B-foot was frozen, briefly thawed, reinstalled, tuned up, strung up, pulled off again, brought into a sauna, heated up, sweated out, and put back on. And the thing is still perfect. So thank you very much to the Anchor, to Gear Gods, and to Mr. Patrice Vigier for designing such a wonderful instrument for everybody.